Hello, and welcome to Domestic Manufacturing Conversion Grants for Electrified Vehicles, a funding opportunity announcement informational webinar hosted by the Department of Energy's Office of Manufacturing and Energy Supply Chains, or MESC. My name is Jennifer Mercer, and I'm a project officer for MESC. Please note that this event is being recorded and will be made available on the MESC website for viewing in the next few days. Before we start, I'd like to explain how this event will be managed. As a participant, your video and audio were automatically turned off when you joined. If you have difficulties relating to technology, for example, if you cannot hear a speaker or see the presentation slides, we recommend you exit the event and re-enter. The public chat and Q&A have been disabled. Closed captions are available for this event. If you would like to view the captions, please enable them using the closed captions icon at the bottom left of your WebEx screen. Please advance the slides. Let me quickly walk you through our agenda. At the start of today's webinar, we will hear an introduction, background, and overview on the funding opportunity announcement for domestic manufacturing conversion grants, which is being administered by the Department of Energy under Section 50143 of the Inflation Reduction Act. Next, we will discuss the anticipated scope and details of the concept papers requested by the active announcement. Then, we will discuss the timeline and milestones of the active funding opportunity announcement. We will close with an overview of some of our most frequently asked questions. Please advance the slides. Today's workshop will be presented by Dr. Jacob Ward. Dr. Ward is the Deputy Director for MESC 30, overseeing a portfolio of projects impacting the analysis and strategic investment in the energy sector industrial base. Previously, he worked for 15 years with the Department of Energy's Vehicle Technologies Office, where he served as the Program Manager for Operations and Analysis, the Acting Program Manager for Mobility Systems, and the Director for DOE's Sustainable Transportation Industry Partnership. He holds a PhD in engineering and public policy and mechanical engineering from Carnegie Mellon University, where his research focused on the energy and environmental impacts of shared, automated, and electrified mobility systems. Take it away, Jake.
Thank you, Jen, and good afternoon, everyone. Next slide, please. So as Jen mentioned, we'll start this webinar with a discussion of the background of this funding opportunity. So this particular funding opportunity is funded by the Inflation Reduction Act, Section 5143, which provides one-time grants for domestic production of efficient hybrid, plug-in electric hybrid, plug-in electric drive, and hydrogen fuel cell vehicles in accordance with Section 712 of the Energy Policy Act of 2005. $2 billion of funding is available in the form of competitive grant funding. That competition takes the form of the funding opportunity that we'll be discussing during this webinar. And intended recipients of this funding include vehicle assembly or component manufacturers, converting existing facilities, and 50% cost share is required. Next slide, please. The Domestic Manufacturing Conversion Grants Program Funding Opportunity Announcement, henceforth referred to as a FOA, encourages applicants to convert an existing facility to support electrified vehicle manufacturing with a 50% cost share requirement. Eligible projects involve conversion of a facility, whole or partial, such as one production line, to either vehicle manufacturing facilities or component manufacturing facilities supporting the domestic production of efficient hybrid, plug-in electric hybrid, plug-in electric drive, and hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicles. Priority is given to the refurbishment and retooling of manufacturing facilities that have recently ceased operation or will cease operation in the near future. Next slide, please. This funding opportunity involves three topic areas, all with similar titles, focused on commercial scale assembly or component manufacturing facilities for electrified vehicles. The difference across the three topic areas is the size of the award. Note that the size of the award is specific to the award size federal share, not to the facility size or to the workforce size. Topic area 1 involves anticipated award sizes, federal share of $250 million to $500 million, 2 to 4 anticipated awards. Topic area 2 involves anticipated federal share award size of $100 million to $250 million minus $1, anticipated number of awards 3 to 5, And topic area 3 involves anticipated award federal share of 25 million to 100 million minus $1. Anticipated number of awards 4 to 6. Additional information about the funding opportunity is available on the Infrastructure Exchange. We'll have that hyperlink explicitly included here in a couple slides. And I want to note 2 due dates. So concept papers are due November 1st, 2023 at 5 p.m. Eastern. I want to emphasize and underscore that the submission of a concept paper is required in order to be able to submit a full application. If a concept paper is submitted by the deadline, a full application can be submitted by the due date on January 9th, 2024 at 5:00 p.m. Eastern. Across all of these topic areas, this program aims to achieve several outcomes you see at the bottom of this slide. Retaining and/or returning good quality, high-paying jobs in facilities that have long served ICE vehicle manufacturing, retaining, strengthening, and expanding collective bargaining agreements in automotive facilities, supporting a just transition for workers and communities in the transition to electrified transportation, expanding U.S. EV and component manufacturing to meet the goal of having at least 50% of all new passenger cars and light trucks sold in 2030 be zero-emission vehicles, including battery electric, plug-in hybrid electric, or fuel cell electric vehicles. Decreasing U.S. dependence on competitor nations, as well as related components and materials, and strengthening domestic supply chains for electrified vehicles, as well as related components and materials. Next slide, please. The concept paper is the first of the process you see depicted on the slide here. The concept paper, as I mentioned on the preceding slide, is a prerequisite step to submitting a full application that leads to consideration by the Federal Consensus Board and potential eventual selection for negotiation of an award. So what is the concept paper at the beginning of this process? The concept paper is a project summary that describes the proposed project. It is intended to reduce the overall burden for both the applicant submission and federal review. It is demonstrating that the proposed idea is worthy of further consideration and results in an encourage or discourage decision. Note that receipt of a discouragement notification regarding a concept paper does not prohibit an organization from submitting a full application in accordance with the instructions and requirements contained within the FOA or being selected for negotiation of award. However, I will emphasize again that the submission of a concept paper by the concept paper deadline is required to submit a full application for consideration by the Federal Consensus Board for potential selection for negotiation of an award. Next slide, please. So this slide outlines the component pieces of what comprises a concept paper. These details are available in the FOA document, section 4.c, as you can see at the top of your slide. Each concept paper must be limited to a single concept or technology. The concept paper must conform to the content identified within the FOA document, including the stated page limits, which you can see identified here. The concept paper must include the following sections: cover page, technology impact, business viability / commercial market, financing plan, cost share and cost share sources, project team and approach, quality jobs and just transition plan, and labor and community benefits plan. I'll again emphasize here that a concept paper submission is required in order to submit a full application. Next slide, please. So, how are these concept papers evaluated? The scoring criterion are listed in the FOA document, section 5.a.2. Concept papers are evaluated based on the factors shown on this and the following slide, and all of these sub-criteria are of equal weight. This concept criteria is focused on overall FOA responsiveness and viability of the project, weighted at 100%, and involves a variety of factors, including how well the applicant clearly describes the facility to be converted, the proposed final product, how the proposed electrified vehicle technology is relevant to the domestic electrified vehicle manufacturing market, and the impact of the proposed facility conversion on the current workforce. Technology impact, including energy use, cost, and greenhouse gas emissions considerations, as well as workforce practices and technological viability. Supply chain impacts, including impact on supply chain resilience, impact on other local employers, and the ability to convert from ICE-related goods and services. And business viability, the degree to which the application justifies the proposed project's economic viability, sustainability, and potential growth. The criteria extend onto the next page, so next page, please. Financial viability, in particular, the availability, creditability, capability, strength, and risk/terms of non-federal cost share, an explicit consideration of the strength of cost share sources, including the extent of use of cash as cost share and other cost share related considerations, qualifications and resources, including the project team and key personnel's experience, job quality and just transition plan, how clearly the applicant describes the approach on job quality and worker retention, and labor and community benefits plan approach, how clearly the applicant describes the approach planned for the three core elements. I want to again underscore the importance of submitting a concept paper on time in order to be able to submit a full application. And I want to call out that if you are considering submitting a concept paper and are worried about any of these particular evaluation criterion, the critical aspect here is submitting that concept paper on time. As a reminder, even discouraged concept papers can move forward to the full application submission stage. Next slide, please. All right. So here we see a timeline of funding opportunity milestones from 2023 into 2024. Several are shown chronologically there. I'll focus on those shown in the table on the lower half of your slide. This funding opportunity announcement, or FOA, was issued on August 31st. We find ourselves at the FOA webinar, October 5th, and approaching the concept paper submission deadline coming up on November 1st at 5 p.m. Eastern. I'll again take the opportunity to emphasize the importance of submitting the concept paper in order to be able to submit a full application. The time frame for concept paper encourage or discourage notifications will happen in December 2023, and full applications will be due on January 9th, 2024 at 5 p.m. Eastern. Again, as a reminder, all concept papers are eligible to submit a full application, whether they receive an encourage or discourage notification. The expected date, emphasis on expected, for DOE selected notifications is spring 2024, and the expected time frame, again, emphasis on expected for award negotiations, is June through October of 2024. Next slide, please. This slide gives you a screenshot of what you'll see when you access the Infrastructure Exchange. You can see the URL for the Infrastructure Exchange at the bottom of your slide. When you access this web page, you'll want to click on the navigation bar on the left-hand side, navigate to funding opportunity, and that will bring you to a list of all funding opportunities in the Clean Energy Infrastructure Exchange. You can either scroll or use the search function at the top of the navigation bar to search for FOA 3106. You can see that highlighted in the FOA number search box on your screen. Typing that number in will take you directly to the funding opportunity announcement, FOA number 3106, for domestic manufacturing conversion grants. When you click on that hyperlink, we'll go to what you see on the next slide. Next slide, please, which is the details specific to FOA 3106 for domestic manufacturing conversion grants. This portion of the Infrastructure Exchange collects in one place all of the documents you'll need to apply in terms of concept paper and full application, and we highlight several of those here for your awareness. The first document you'll see is the FAQ, or frequently asked questions. These are all of the questions we've received about FOA 3106 with answers from the Department of Energy made available for everyone, for everyone's awareness. That's followed by a hyperlink to the FOA document itself. In the next section, you'll see a hyperlink to additional documents needed for the full application, but that are not yet needed at the concept paper stage. Below that, you see the hyperlink for this webinar, and below that, you see the FOA email for the submission of additional questions not already addressed in the FAQ. I encourage you to review the FAQ first prior to submitting additional questions. But if you do have a novel question not already addressed in that document, please do submit it to the email address you see there, de-foa-3106@netl.doe.gov. Note that this is the only email address to which questions can legally be submitted. Submission to any other part of DOE will result in redirection to this email address. Next slide, please. All right, speaking of the FAQ documents, we do want to take some time to highlight a subset of the FAQs that may be relevant to many of you on the webinar today. So I am interested in applying under this announcement. What are the next steps? Detailed application instructions are included in Infrastructure Exchange. Additionally, please review Section 4.A application process of the FOA. Are projects that request a federal share of less than 25 million eligible to apply? See Section 2.A.1 in the FOA. The anticipated minimum federal award size is 25 million. Applications that request less than 25 million in federal share are eligible to apply under this FOA. Would multiple plant conversions with different timelines fall within one application? Multiple locations could be part of the same project within one application. A complete project timelines for all locations would be established. Is there a way to set up a meeting with MESC to ask questions about eligibility, the application process, and the concept paper? MESC is unable to meet with applicants at this time. Detailed application instructions are included in Infrastructure Exchange. Additionally, please review Section 4.A application process of the FOA. See Section 3.G, questions regarding eligibility of the FOA. The DOE will not make eligibility determinations absent a full application. Next slide, please. How does DOE interpret recently ceased operations in terms of time? 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. Are there additional measures that the DOE uses to determine recency, such as workforce remaining in the area, the remaining degree of economic impact that resulted from the closure of the original facility? Multiple factors may be considered relative to the terms recently ceased operations and/or recently closed. Applicants are invited to provide any data supporting a claim that they qualify for this prioritization. See Section 4.D.25, At-Risk Facility Justification, for detailed instructions on including an attachment for consideration if the applicant would like the proposed project's existing facility to be considered as a facility that has recently ceased operation or will cease operation in the near future. Does DOE anticipate encouraging a specific number of concept papers? If yes, how many? DOE makes an independent assessment of each concept paper based on the criteria in Section 5 of the FOA. DOE will encourage a subset of applicants to submit full applications. Other applicants will be discouraged from submitting a full application. See Section 6.A. The number of applications encouraged or discouraged are based solely on the independent assessment. Can multiple companies partner on a single project that reaches the funding threshold to submit an application? Yes. See Section 5.A.2 of the FOA regarding the criteria to be used for evaluating the capability of teams to address all aspects of the proposed work. The proposed team must designate an award prime recipient that will be legally responsible for the award. See Section 3.B.1 of the FOA. Next slide, please. How does this program work with 48C? Could an applicant submit concept papers for the 48C credit, receive both same improvements / conversions on each application, or if the applicant receives both, would they have to choose between them or somehow adjust our application / allocations? An award under this FOA does not preclude an application for a 48C tax credit. However, as stated in the FOA, the tax credit cannot be leveraged as cost share. The 3 topic areas are classified as small, medium, and large. Is this based on the size of the vehicle being manufactured, federal share as provided on page 6 and 9 of the FOA? As we mentioned earlier in this webinar, it is the latter. See Section 1.B topic areas of the FOA. Large, medium, and small refers to the federal share of the applied for funding only. All vehicle sizes are eligible for all topic area and award sizes. Will I be able to submit concept paper questions regarding the FOA in event of a government shutdown? See Section 4.C relative to concept paper content. In the unlikely event that the government does not enact a federal budget or a continuing resolution for FY24, questions will still be accepted at the FOA email address, and the exchange system will still accept concept papers and applications. So this concludes the subset of frequently asked questions that we wanted to showcase as part of this webinar. Additional FOA questions should be submitted to the only email address that can address those questions, DE-FOA-0003106@netl.doe.gov. To see answers to these questions and the full set of frequently asked questions, please visit the Infrastructure Exchange at the hyperlink shown here, as well as the hyperlink we showed a few slides ago, and navigate to the FAQ document shown there, which, as you saw a few slides ago, is the first document made available there. Let's go to the next slide. And I think with that, our webinar concludes. Please feel free to connect with MESC by reaching us online at energy.gov/MESC or emailing us at mesc@hq.doe.gov. But again, as a reminder, anything regarding this FOA should be directed to the email address DE-FOA-0003106@netl.doe.gov. Thank you all for your attention and best wishes for everyone in preparation of your concept paper in advance of the November 1st due date. One final reminder about the importance of submitting that concept paper on time in order to be able to submit a full proposal. Thank you all very much, and good afternoon to all.